fucking The King in Hamilton. Anybody watch Hamilton?
All right, if you're in the audio stream, the video stream is live.
You should watch Hamilton.
I know, dude. You've heard the Weird Al?
Yeah.
How'd you like it?
It's funny.
Yeah,
as funny as any of the
as any of Weird Al doing polka is.
Yeah.
It's funny because I was like, I haven't listened to it at all, and so I was the Weird Al version, much like many of my encounters with pop culture. That was my intro, was the Weird Al version, dude. And I'm like, these are some really intricate lyrics. Wow!
If you want to check out the show, I have a really good bootleg of it.
That'd be cool.
It's like somebody combined like 3 different bootleg sources and mixed it with the cast recording audio.
That's nice.
And
that's
like,
cool.
yeah,
cool.
it's as good as you're fucking gonna get until like 10 years from now that they're finally allowed to release the footage or something.
Cool.
That's something to do with like the unions that work the theaters. Basically, like they can't record the show and air it without like a special agreement or something.
Oh,
yeah, and so
copyright.
Yeah.
Herp. So I went to Tesco.
What is that?
It's the Irish, like, Vons.
Oh, really?
Dude, somebody called me a skinny bitch on Instagram.
Skinny bitch.
I mean, you gotta call me a bitch.
No, well, now that you're skinny. What's your thoughts on OnePlus?
Fuck, OnePlus is like, every single time OnePlus comes out with a phone, it's like, lots of OnePlus phones are having this weird, stupid hardware issue. The fucking maker is silent. And then everyone, like 3 months goes by, they come out with a new phone because they come out with a new one every 3 fucking months. And everyone's like, oh, wow, look at these specs. And then they buy it and it's like, yeah, this one has a different weird, shitty issue that the manufacturer will not fix. And then everyone's like, oh, never again. Wow, look at these specs.
Yeah. And then the Essential didn't really live up to the hype, I heard.
I'm really hopeful for Essential's second phone.
Okay.
Hopefully, I don't know that turns out the fucking Andy Rubin dude was like a fucking one of the many sexual harassers in the world. So
gross.
If he's ousted, and I don't know how much he was involved in the leadership and shit, so maybe they're fucking DOA. But I'm hopeful that Essential does something cool. Anyways, want to do a show?
Nah.
Let's do it.
Welcome to Four Brewers. My name is Matt Becker, and as always, I'm joined by
John Holzer.
Jason Harris.
Sorry, what was that? What was that?
John Holzer.
Hey.
Jason Harris.
Greg Nagel. I'm Greg.
You sound like old Greg.
He actually sounds just like the Terror in the Tick Show.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so strange. Like the common references just don't happen anymore. You know, unless it's like Stranger Things.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Where's Barb?
Hashtag justice for Barb. So Jason, what have you brought to the literal table today?
Here we go.
Check the box.
Quick left.
Dick punch. If no one's guessed by our racist accents, what do you got?
I brought a bunch of Irish beer because St. Patrick's Day is coming up, but then it occurred to me after I bought it that like this won't air until like
It
probably.
could. It could.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we can put a little bit out of order.
It may air after, it may not. I don't know, but we have St. Patrick's Day beers.
They're
For
not
some
green.
reason in my head too, I keep wanting to do the hat dance music, which is it's like we're bringing you the luck of the Irish. I'm like, what?
Oh my god! Wow.
You're like, oh yeah, that's not the right one.
On one of my new favorite, it's everyone's old favorite, my new favorite podcast, Last Podcast on the Left. They
I couldn't get into it.
we were talking
Where
about
do I start, by the way?
somebody having a shamrock tramp stamp, and they're like, you don't have to be Irish to get a shamrock tattoo. You just have to live an Irish lifestyle, which means you show up to the tattoo parlor drunk. I just thought that was great.
Nice.
Oh my gosh! Yes.
Harp.
Welcome to Ireland.
Look at the Irish. Now I'm drinking a fine harp lager. delicious. It's a very nice looking label. It's got lots of blues.
It's got the herp on it.
It's got lots of blues and silvers, much like Ireland. There you go, John.
Nothing says Ireland like blue.
This is Ireland like blue and light lager.
Terrible part of periwinkle blue.
It's a bit of a periwinkle, isn't it?
Turkish fries fresh size.
It smells like a
So we have harp.
harp lager.
They don't even have the harp on there anymore. Like,
so is this a Guinness product?
Diageo? Yeah.
Oh,
So yes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Diageo is
It's
like a
Guinness family.
alcohol brand.
That was like one of the biggest alcohol conglomerates in the world.
Yeah.
Lots of liquor brands. Smirnoff, isn't Smirnoff one of them?
Yeah, all those huge.
Is there some
family.
kind of special twist on this? Like, is it a Scottish lager?
Nope. I mean, it's
It's
Just owned by a
Irish
Scottish
lager.
company.
it's
an Irish?
It's made in Ireland.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Same thing, right?
You know, it's
Yeah,
funny,
could you tell from the music? It's
when you go to Ireland, you can't find harp anywhere. It's everybody serves like Miller High Life and Carlsberg, and those are like the two main selling lagers everywhere.
just
you
kind
go.
of like Foster's, which is like all for
I
export.
heard Stella is real big too.
yeah,
Like Stella
all those
gets around
Euro
a lot.
lagers
Yeah.
really do well over there.
High Life is good though.
Yeah.
They have it on like those ice taps.
High Life, all right, as the local cheap beer connoisseur, High Life is way too carbonated. It's like super foamy. I think that's like part of their champagne of beers thing. Their beer's extra fizzy. But if you drink like 3 of them, like,
You acclimate to it?
you got some bloat.
yeah, it's like gassy as fuck. Like,
okay.
you're just like, "Bleh, oh, Jesus, man.
So they made a beer to directly combat like their slogan for Miller Lite. Is it Miller Lite?
Yeah.
Great beer, less filling.
Well, I
Right.
mean,
Yeah, so
Miller Lite was
that's
the
what it is, right?
alternative to Miller High Life, which was the beer at the time.
Okay.
High Life is like the classic Miller. Like that is their core brand beer. Like if you know,
I never knew that. That's their banquet.
Yeah, Miller High Life is the core beer. It's weird that it moved down market at some point.
Yeah,
'Cause it's-
MGD dethroned it.
Yeah, but Miller Genuine Draft, to my understanding, is just Miller High Life that's been cold filtered to basically pasteurize it or something.
It probably just went through a different kind of filter. Like you can go through like coarser filters just to actually make it clear, but then you can also put it through a sterile filter that literally is so fine it filters out like bacteria.
Yeah.
1 micron or something.
Yeah, half micron I think.
Now,
But about harp.
look at my glass. My head is a nice pinky head, and this is my Ferkfest glass.
The Ferkfest glass really promotes
it
foam.
really promotes
'cause-
the foam, dude.
And it really promotes Ferkfest, which
It
is
really does.
March 24th,
Next weekend,
next weekend, at the Anaheim
You'll get-
Packing House
you
area.
will literally get laid by all the 4 brewers.
Hey, Greg.
Hey.
Fricked your mom last night.
Oh man!
Wow. You know the best part about harp
What's that?
is doing a black and tan.
Oh,
with Guinness.
shit.
I just don't know why anyone would buy this.
It's
Like-
very bready.
It's pretty. It's honestly it's pretty
pretty
good.
clean.
It's
It's
got
not
a
bad,
little bit
but
of that.
kind of
why?
minty.
It's got that
Why?
cheap beer smell though. That like kind of
Yeah.
like
sulfury corny thing.
like tinny almost.
It's kind of like minty.
It's solidly I'd say. Oh, by the way, Diageo, Smirnoff, Bailey's, Captain Morgan, Tanqueray, Johnny Walker, Ciroc, J&B, Bullet Bourbon, Kettle One Vodka, Don Julio, Crown
Diageo's
Royal.
like all
yeah,
the,
they're like the really big brands that always get end caps. That's Diageo.
I don't get it. Like, I guess people are buying it; they're still making it.
Yeah, I think it's just
So-
more popular over there than it is here.
You're talking about like this beer in particular.
Yeah,
Light lager in general is all about branding. It's all about the experience they're selling,
Completely.
right? And so like fundamentally, like again, me and Matt review these beers, right? And like the differences between most of the ones that are not garbage is like inches. Like they're not fundamentally
Yeah.
different flavor experiences.
Super slight.
And so the big difference is like, what are you buying into? Oh, it's Australian for beer. Oh, yeah.
so you might think you're drinking like an exquisite product because it's from Ireland and not LA.
Yeah, exactly. Or like it's more of like a working beer.
Yeah,
because
or it's from
Irish or whatever.
Australia, or it's from Jamaica, or
It's an
whatever.
import.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
It's and like I was actually just talking about this phenomenon when I was at the Totes Wine yesterday. If you ever hang out in a Total Wine, you'll see like random people come in and they're just kind of looking around and they're like, what was that one that we had on our trip? On the trip. And it's like, you know what?
So true.
Everything you had on a trip tastes better because you're on vacation. You're just on vacation. It's great. When you had that McDonald's on vacation or you had a Guinness in
Best
Ireland,
fucking McDonald's ever, yeah.
yeah, you're on vacation. It's great. Everything's magical. You're traveling. You're in a new land. And it's great.
Feeling
Everything's
good.
great when you have no worries. you
Yeah.
know?
And then like the same with fucking
obligations.
with Guinness, like you
was
get the
good there.
Guinness in Ireland and it's actually really good. It's the same fucking beer. I guarantee it.
It was better.
They pee in the stuff they said to America.
Using the water that they have there is a little bit different.
I would be
I think
amazed if they
it's-
didn't RO their water. Like, just so it's the same.
I don't know.
pretty much
I
where we
mean,
go.
who
We know
knows?
people that have been invited to Guinness. Aaron Peters is one
Yeah.
of them, and I would gladly take that trip. Like, I want to see the Guinness. Like,
Yeah.
Change my mind.
Very.
I'm gonna use that fucking meme and I'd be like, Guinness in Ireland tastes the same as Guinness from my gas station. Change my mind. And I'm just like that guy with the coffee cup.
I think one of the most
I got you.
common misconceptions with Guinness is it's like I always hear like normies always call it like, oh my god, it's like syrup. I'm gonna put it on my pancakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, do you realize it's like less calories than Coors Light? Like,
yeah.
Dude, it's actually really cool because you can really impress normies. You just be like, yeah, I just got a pound of Guinness. And they're like, wow. It's like, it's thin, it's not carbonated, and it's the lowest alcohol beer you can buy. You're like, yeah, I just chugged the Guinness. It's probably the most responsible beer to chug if you're going to chug a beer.
no doubt.
Yeah, and it's delicious.
Yeah, I toured the factory, the storehouse they call it, in Dublin, maybe like 8 years ago, 2010. And the first part of the tour is like a self-guided tour thing. They have like a huge barrel full of their roasted barley that they use in the beer. It's not malted barley. There's a difference between roasted and malted.
Yeah, malted is black malt.
So it's essentially what they do to coffee beans, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's
that's
it's
the
a drum
signature flavor.
Drum
yeah.
roaster, same thing.
And once you put those in your mouth and chew it up, it's like, wow, that's pretty much Guinness. Like in a nutshell, that flavor profile, that
Yep.
roasted. It's very coffee-like, very easy to drink.
So, what exactly is this? Is this just Guinness? Like,
Yeah, it's regular
Draft.
ass Guinness.
This is the session.
I get smoke on this, which I find unusual.
Like I said,
Does
they
it smell smoky?
they roast
Yeah,
the
I can-
malt.
I can get that.
Roast the barley.
It's not
Well,
roast.
yeah, it's
smoke.
a little bit different than like roasted barley, though.
All right,
Like,
so sorry, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say it's like different. I think different kinds of roasted barley have different levels of smokiness, though. So I guess it would depend on where it's coming from.
and the
It
reason
smells smoky.
Harp Premium Lager, Guinness. Which one would you guess has a picture of a harp on the front?
they don't want to be overly obvious, but the reason why the Irish or the Guinness people started making it with roasted barley as opposed to malted was because the Queen had a tax on malted barley.
Ah,
So they said, "Fuck you, Queen. We're gonna do this
we're just gonna
home thing
take regular barley.
regular and then cook it, essentially, roast it."
Also, I imagine why there's flaked barley in it too is because that is also not malted.
And also not malted.
Hey, the Queen, taxation is theft.
Hey, Queen, dick punch, Queen punch.
I will say, I bought 2 of these. I made food with a Guinness yesterday, and I literally just pulled it off the shelf, poured like half of it in to make a gravy, and then just drank the rest of it like straight room temperature. Fucking probably the best way I've had Guinness. Like, this is significantly inferior to room temperature Guinness.
Just drinking it old school.
People always joke, they're like, yeah, in England they drink their beer warm. It's not like warm, it's cellar temp. But I had this at like 70 degrees, and it was like,
Car trunk.
I was like, this is fucking the best way I've had Guinness so far. So if you have a Guinness, just fucking leave it on your counter. Just drink it like that.
Jason pro tip.
Guinness, leave it on the counter. In fact, leave it on the counter at the store. just
Don't drink it.
Hashtag counter beer.
Just go home.
Did you hear that Guinness is making they're spending, I think, $250 million to make a brewery on the East Coast?
For
Just-
their lager,
Just
right?
to make the blonde.
Blonde. Jesus.
And I'm like, what?
I like who's
going to buy the
buying it?
fucking blonde?
It's like
Who's buying
my
it?
question with the harp. Who buys it? Like, I've never
would-
seen anyone buy
that-
harp.
That big though, they would have to. I would assume that they would be.
They've done their
they're-
research.
That and they're doing more than just that one brand.
I feel like
I
the
read the
store
press
buys
release, dude.
in February.
Press releases say a lot.
In February, every store that carries beer buys 100 cases of Harp. They sell 80 of them, and then the other 20 trickle out through the rest of the year.
Yeah, that's the rest of their year supply.
They just sell them
Sir,
all
one
on
brew
St.
day.
Patrick's Day. They build an end cap of just like St. Patrick's Day, Luck of the Irish, buy Bushmills and fucking
Got it. Okay.
Jameson, Bushmills, Jameson,
Oh, God.
Guinness, and Harp. Fucking buy it all.
Schmiddix.
Speaking of
Speaking of
Schmiddix,
Smittick,
oh shit,
Good on me
We
for
got
that
some-
transition.
good old Smittix.
we have a data sci guy in chat too, who's actually from the UK. So I figured he'd have some hilarious commentary on our shitty
Commentary and insights.
our shitty accents and just Irish terrible beer and
Ireland.
Except he's actually British.
Yeah, he's
right?
British.
Yeah.
But it's
So
like
it's probably like
it's like
I'm not
neighborly.
Like I'm not from there.
yeah, but
I
if
thought
he would
was
be like,
Scottish.
It's us that's us being like. So what are
I
people
wrong?
from Washington like? It's pretty much the same.
Yeah,
I don't fucking know.
Now the Irish
I don't know, pretty-
hate. I don't think they're too fond of the British. I remember some of the cities I went to. They had signs for like if your dog pooped on like a public park, the fine was in pounds, which was funny. I just thought that was funny. Does that make sense?
Do they have a different? Oh, because the Irish are on the euro.
Yeah, euro. Yeah,
Oh, yeah. I lost that.
subtle humor,
Got it.
subtle Irish humor.
subtle Irish humor. Friendly folk.
Hop, hop, hop.
Just always go back to the impression.
So what is this? It's a red or what?
They're
Schmiddix
always
is an Irish red, man. This is one of the classic Irish reds. I believe
It is
this
a-
beer.
a ruby red brew with gentle hop bitterness and a sweet malt finish. Both Smithwick's or Smiddix and Harp have like significantly rebranded. Like they had pretty iconic labels, and now I'm like, what the fuck is this?
It looks old.
It doesn't look. It looks modern, but it doesn't look like the old one looked classic.
Yeah. Yeah, this one looks, it almost looks like a contemporized classic label. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Clean. It's clean. but it
Newcastle
still
did
has,
that
like,
a while ago too.
Modernized.
Yeah. Also, noteworthy is that this is indeed an ale. If they said ale like 4 times, so I'm assuming.
It's a red ale.
Yeah.
It's good for what
got
ails
ale.
you.
So, yeah, because you always hear like there are Irish reds that are actually lagers, and that's like supposed to be like a real Irish red, and I have never run into one. I don't know what actually started that. I feel like that's like the whole diacetyl and Czech Pilsner thing. Like
Yeah.
one did it, and so it's like
I
an
feel like
accepted
it's
thing.
like it's like Killian's.
Oh, is that the one?
That's a
Killian's?
Miller. That's a Miller product, right?
Coors.
Yeah, it was like an
Coors,
old
okay.
brand that they bought at some point. Yeah, and
So
I'm
is
like,
it
it
now
has
AB InBev? Because is it Miller?
Miller Coors.
Okay.
Yeah, Miller
Yeah,
Coors.
Miller Coors, and then AB InBev bought.
That whole arrangement is like complicated to the level that I don't really.
Okay.
Yeah, because like
understand
in elsewhere it's like Molson Coors.
it. Yeah,
Yeah, and then in different countries it's different packaged.
Yeah, Killian's Irish Red is the one that's a lager, and fuck that beer. But this beer, how does everyone?
when I
Yeah,
was
it was-
new to
tastes a little old.
drinking, like that was like the kind of shit people were like. No, I'm a premium guy. I drink Killian's.
Yeah,
I feel like you used to go to every grocery store and they would have Killian's, and I don't remember the last time I saw it.
true. This
They-
is surprisingly bitter.
You probably saw it, you just didn't see it.
I was just looking at the Irish section at Total Wine, and I can
Okay.
assure you it was not there.
right.
I bought all the beers that were there except for the Guinness Blonde.
good call.
Ironically, that's going to be brewed in the U.S.
I mean, it tastes like a red ale. It's not a good
really
red ale.
dry.
It's actually not bad.
Yeah, I'm surprised how bitter it is and how hoppy it is.
Yeah, it's got a good like caramel note to the back though. Like this is actually a pretty drinkable beer.
Yeah, it's got that like super noble hop.
I remember having it on draft and it having like a weird, funky like a Euro Noble hop aftertaste to it.
Yeah.
that I'm not getting on this.
Really?
Not so much.
I mean, Matt is our resident
It's very,
Irish
like-
red expert.
Yeah, he is.
I am.
It's very intense. What hop?
Oh shit!
What hop would you use in your Irish red? Your award-winning Irish red?
I would just bitter with whatever we had on hand.
Oh, okay. So it
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
there wasn't really any finishing hop in it.
Matt would just
late edition.
steep his
Yeah.
balls in it like a tea bag.
Exactly.
His
That's
Irish red balls.
that's my bronzed balls. But no, I would never focus on the hop. It was always very malt forward. So which is why I'm saying that there's the fact that there's a noteworthy finishing hop in this is interesting.
At the hop. What do they consider if you look at like style guidelines? Is this considered a reference Irish red?
I would assume so. Yeah. Irish red is like really easy too. It's like a Maris Otter, and you make it red with roasted barley and maybe add some crystal, and that's it. That's all it is.
Super simple.
Yeah. If anyone says that they make an Irish red with anything besides that, it's not an Irish red.
Yeah, I think I saw Taps, who's won quite a few awards for their Irish red as well over the
They
years.
have, yeah.
And I think it was pretty similar, just straight up.
So
Some crystal.
interestingly, in order, the commercial examples on BJCP's guidelines for Irish red.
Red trolleys. Red trolley number 1.
Three Floyd's Brian Boru Old Irish Ale.
Okay.
These are from 2008. So
All right.
Great Lakes Conway's Irish Ale, Kilkenny Irish Beer,
Kilkenny, that's
O'Hara's Irish Red, Smithwick's. But I'm just like, Three Floyd's is their first example.
Yeah, I'm gonna get that
Yeah.
and compare my homebrew to
They
it.
probably, I almost guarantee they don't make it anymore.
yeah.
In 2008, Three Floyd's like, yeah, we have an Irish Red because everyone has like the same complement of 5 styles.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, you had to check that one off the list when you were opening a brewery in 2008. Yeah.
Alpine had a really good Irish red at one point.
They did.
God,
yeah,
it was good. McElhaney's red.
Great beer.
So I just opened this Wexford thing,
You did, and I haven't poured myself.
and the thing, it was almost like a gusher of nitro. It's like,
Is this a nitro beer?
yep.
Yeah, it's a cream
got a
ale.
widget.
It's got the, I honestly was I don't think I've had this one.
Yeah, I may have seen this on a shelf, but I've never heard of it before.
An Irish cream ale. I hate like English cream ales.
Like Boddington's?
Boddington's is not good.
Every 2 or 3 years, I try Boddington's again, and I'm like, what the fuck?
I'm getting the same feeling about this beer right now.
Yeah, I kind of had that expectation. I thought it'd be a fun show prank.
It smells kind of coppery.
Original
It's oxidized.
Wexford Irish cream.
It's got a twang to the nose, like crotch sweat.
The date, I think, is European style, so I...
Crotch sweat.
It's
Oh,
very-
this is terrible. Oh,
It's like toffee, oxidized toffee crotch.
It smells
Sweat.
like
it's nitro, so it's really like flat on the
It
tongue.
smells like a Werther's original.
Totally
yeah,
right.
diacetyl for sure.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
that's just said toffee like.
Or like a butterscotch candy, like a hard butterscotch.
It's got.
Yeah, it's like the dish next to grandma's.
It's like if you had a Werther's with the paper packaging.
Yeah, like it smells like a butterscotch that's been sitting in a jar in a little bowl on a grandma's fucking end table for
years,
for a decade.
Yeah.
So next beer.
Oh, yeah, that was an unfortunate experience.
Hold on, I didn't try it yet.
Don't.
There you go. So I just opened a Murphy's Stout, which is also nitro.
Okay, Jason has thoughts.
Jason?
Yeah.
No,
Thoughts?
Never mind.
but why?
That was certainly a thought.
I brought 5 beers because I knew we'd be dumping some out.
But Murphy's is kind of like the
It's classic.
Isn't it like
in
the Bud
Southern
Guinness?
Ireland. Yeah, exactly. They're rivals, and but I've had a lot of this at bars here in Orange County, and I think it's pretty decent for what it is.
I haven't had a lot of these beers. I've had Guinness, and that's it, I think. I've never even had Murphy's.
I feel like I've had. Wait, what's the one that's like just a straight up knockoff Guinness? I remember going to like an Irish festival, and they were like AB sponsored, so they didn't have Guinness, and they only had
Beeman's,
Guinness?
maybe
Bemis, Beamster, Beam something.
Finnis?
I'm thinking of cheese, Beamster,
Beamish.
Beamish. That's what
yeah,
it is.
yes.
Guinness?
Yeah, Guinness, Murphy's, and Beanish. And
I was like,
Guinness,
Guinness?
Murphy's, and Beamish are
Beamish.
the big 3 of the dry Irish
That's
stuff.
the law firm you go to
Yeah,
when
exactly.
you got a drunk
When
in
you get
public.
drunk. Yeah.
No, Guinness?
Have you gotten in trouble last night? You have one too many and
Yeah,
fuck your mother.
Do you have a gambling debt?
Call Guinness Iron.
Betting on the ponies.
Call Guinness, Murphys, and Beamish.
That's just a thing.
We'll fight for you with a dick punch.
Quick left.
With a quick left.
This smells quite nice. I'm kind of into it on the nose. It's very fruity.
This is a lot more like coffee forward, surprisingly.
Yeah.
I find it appropriate that we're drinking Murphy's while I'm wearing a RoboCop shirt.
Dead or alive, you're drinking with me.
Murphy,
No.
drop it, creep.
This does smell good. I get the coffee.
It's very,
Yeah.
it's astringent.
Whoa.
It's like a creamy coffee. Smells good. I dig it.
What's the ABV on this?
It's imported draft style.
But
The
it's
word draft
kinda
always
flat
fucks with me.
and papery.
Yeah, it's not seen.
I think we're being conditioned to like the American nitro beers in cans where they they use CO2 and nitro,
Oh,
and you
man,
have to
the
pour
nitro
hard.
melon.
So you get like the mouthfeel and like the creaminess of the nitro, but you still get the CO2 cleaning everything up. You know?
Yeah.
It's really, and the Modern Times City of the Dead. I think that's probably the best nitro beer in a can I've ever had, as far as the amount of nitrogen to CO2 and the whole cascading effect, and like the glass when I'm done is coated
All the way down
in foam.
This tastes like someone
amazing.
spilled coffee in an ashtray.
Yeah,
It
this
is very
horrible.
ashy.
Oh,
Yes.
fuck
I
me.
wanted it to be a lot better than it is, but it's just...
It's flat.
Now, just so you know, Ireland, like everywhere in the world, has a ton of craft breweries. Sadly, they don't make it their way across the ocean yet, but I'm sure we will. I'm sure Guinness will like buy one or something.
Tell
and
you what,
distribute out here.
when the world at large stops being like, American beer, it's fucking close to water. Hey, then I'll fucking give Ireland some credit.
No doubt.
Dude, it was funny. I've been getting on Reddit a lot more lately, and in one of the Reddit beer subs, someone was like, why isn't there more British beer on the Beer Advocate and Rate Beer? And like, why don't you guys talk about British craft beer more? And I'm like, dude, they're American websites, and British craft beer is great, but
When you're there, yeah.
it stays in Britain. Like, that's where it's like locality, dude.
That's not a session beer.
Link me to that thread. I'll post
guy.
about how Beaverton is dope.
I forgot his
True.
name on Twitter.
Or not Beaverton, Beavertown.
Beavertown, yeah.
Speaking of Beavertown, actually, it feels like I'm setting up a shitty joke.
Speaking of bitter,
Going to Beavertown, know what I'm saying?
Speaking of Beavertown, how's your mom been?
be right back. I'm headed to Beavertown.
Going to Oregon soon, you guys.
Like shit.
For 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off for like fucking months. So get your Oregon requests in now.
Yeah.
Give me some modern times.
Bierstadt.
Yeah, modern times. Yeah,
The Bierstadt
I'm
Lagerhaus.
super sad that they're not going to have
That's
fucking
Denver, isn't
fatheads up there
I'm
when
gonna
I
get
go.
some,
Oh, it's true, huh? Because they closed that
some
one.
Great Notion.
Yeah.
Like, definitely, if you don't
People.
make the mistake I made, which was not getting Great Notion.
Great Notion is right next door to a really cool breakfast shop too.
Cool.
Which one
Go
is
to
which
Heater
breakfast
Allen.
Blue Star or something.
Oh yeah, you can go to Heater Allen.
shop? Oh, you can go
Good guy,
there.
Heater Allen, that commented on our.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Heater
they're
Allen
like-
is like
Actually responded, and they're like, "Hey guys, so this is actually part of our process." And like they were actually surprised that the beers were as cloudy as we
Yeah.
had them, because I guess they do all natural logging. They don't do any kind of filtration or clarifying very intentionally. And they were like, "That's usually our beer is really clear. That's kind of weird." And then they had a couple of corrections, and like they
Their Oktoberfest beer, or their Marzen, I should say.
Yeah, they
they
had
kind
some-
of
yeah,
clarified
had
with
some
that.
info about
yeah,
it.
they had some clarifications which we don't have in front of us right now.
They're
We
really cool.
welcome
Like the
feedback.
last
That
time,
was really nice.
Last time a brewery emailed us, they're just like, "Dear Four Brewers bastards, I'll have you know that I make the best saison in the world, and I tried really hard, and also I'm a very busy person with lots to do. Have you ever had a beer before? Maybe try eating a shit, because that's
lol.
what comes out of your mouth. You shit-eating fuck." Anyhow,
Yeah.
have a nice day.
Anyhow, thanks for featuring us on the show.
I guess anybody with a computer now has an opinion.
Anyone could start a
Anybody
blog
with a
now, I
keyboard.
guess.
He's an expert.
Thank you for this interesting show, Jason.
Yeah, happy St. Patty's Day.
Yeah, happy St. Patty's Day.
Happy St. Patty's Day. Don't fall down.
And you spell St. Patty's Day with D's, not T's.
Yes.
But the Irish say everything with
Sounds
T's.
weird.
Hey, listen.
Even TH is a T.
To anyone who gets real serious about spelling St. Patty's Day with D's or T's, like, shut up, man. Like,
Hey, man.
Not to put too fine a point on it.
just
Say I'm the only bee
like
in your
all the
bonnet.
people who are just like,
It's Patrick, and if you call it Patty's with T's, that's a woman's name. It's just wrong. It's that simple. Patty is like, with D's is like short for Patrick, right?
I don't think so.
Everywhere in Ireland, there's Paddy with D. There's like everything's like you take the paddy wagon or whatever.
Padriac.
Padraic, yeah.
Or, yeah, there you
Padraic.
go.
Take the paddy wagon.
I mean, it makes logical sense when you're abbreviating or
Patrick.
iterating on Patrick that you keep the letter that's there and don't add a new different
And I
letter.
see how they make that mistake, but they're wrong.
So if you want to find Four Brewers online, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram. You can find all that information on fourbrewers.com.
Do you have something to say about St. Patty's Day?
No, I
And the
said let's go to
spelling?
Ireland.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking to the
Yep.
audience right now.
Let's go to Ireland, audience.
Oh, yeah. Do you have a thought on Patty versus Paddy?
Okay, Greg, what now? You want
Let's
to
go to Ireland. Yeah.
All right, let's do
I'm
it.
in the mood.
Patreon.com/4brewers. Send us to Ireland.
Can we get a York Peppermint Patties Day?
We can go to Yorkshire Square Brewery.
Can we somehow work out a way that we go to Yorkshire Square Brewery and have York Peppermint Patties?
Oh, we should probably mention that Yorkshire Square does have an event on St. Patrick's Day that is Nout but Stout, all stouts and a lot of casks. Check them out.
So
If you're not already there.
Nout but stout. Check it out. Quicker left.
Four Brewers. Fourbrewers.com/live if you want to hang out with us while we're taping the show. You can also hang out in our Discord chat. Fourbrewers.com/YouTube if you want to see all of our sticky, icky video content. Go to patreon.com/4brewers if you want to send us to Ireland. Go to iTunes. Go to iTunes or your favorite podcast client and give us 5 stars because it helps people discover the show. And if you want to get in touch with us directly, hit us up at feedback@fourbrewers.com and brew the shit out of it.
Let's go to Ireland.
You want to send us to the moon? Hit us up.
Data Sagai said Padraig, Padraig, is Irish spelling.
Well, they're wrong.
Well, fucking Americans.
Well, fuck them.
Okay, the video stream for this episode is ending right now.